Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp and Chance. I am your host, Bobby Sampson. Joined with me, as always, is my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Chance, happy Tuesday, my man. How are you, friend?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I can't complain, man. Some exciting things are coming our way, and it's just getting better and better, man. I think we're starting to see some of the fruits of our labor. So, things are
Slowly.
coming
Yeah.
together, and we'll share some of these details with you guys probably in the next week or so. I would think so. Nothing to
Yeah.
let out of the. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag yet, but we got something really cool coming up here. Really cool, man.
I'm
I can't.
excited.
I know I can't stress it enough. I really want to tell the world now, but you know what? I think this is something we'll just save. Build up anticipation, guys and gals. Underneath you, you will see all our links to all our social media pages. Please hit them all up, like and subscribe, or I guess subscribe at least wherever you can subscribe. And on the YouTube channel, please hit that notification button. It means the world. The numbers are going up. People are listening. People want to listen to us, man. How does that make you feel? There's a bunch of people out there who actually want to hear what we have to say.
Means we're doing something right.
Well, I think we're just growing this, man, organically and making it, what it is, and slowly but surely. I mean, for our newer listeners, I don't know if that story is being told these days, but the tortoise and the hare, slow and
Yeah.
steady win the race, right? I mean, not too slow, but steady for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. We're definitely building up here. It's been good.
No, we're getting better and better. And if everything goes the way I vision it in my head, I vision it on my vision board, I vision it and manifest it. The next couple of weeks should be huge, very big,
I think so. I think
very,
so.
very big for us, very big,
Yeah. I think
right?
so.
And I'm hoping at this point, this very big becomes just a common thing for us,
I hope so, man. I hope so.
right? So that's what we're gearing up for, and let's just keep on going here. But you know what? We're here to talk wrestling, man. Boxing's been killing it. We've been doing great numbers out there, but we have to give back to the community that we love as well.
Yep.
So let's get into it, man. As of yesterday, 19 days away. So I guess today would make it 18 days away till the show of the Immortals, the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania 39, SoFi Stadium, Los Angeles, California. Raw last night. I think it was okay. I don't think it was a great
Yeah.
Raw.
So.
But I mean, it was still exciting. There's a lot there to kind of, dig in and, kind of, I don't know. Well, I guess the one thing I really enjoyed about this particular Raw was we finally got the Edge versus Finn Balor match set.
Yeah. Hell in the cell. Yeah.
So we got a Hell in the Cell at WrestleMania, which is, I don't think there's been a Hell in the Cell since 2008, since Taker and Trips had theirs.
I
I could
think
be wrong.
right.
I could be wrong, but I can't recall another Hell in the Cell at Mania since then. So, this is kind of cool. Hell in the Cell is making its return as well. So,
Yeah. Cool.
at Mania too. So that should be interesting. Now, here's the question: is this the first night or the second night? And if it's on the first night, do they take the Hell down? Do they take the Cell down for the second night, or do they leave it up?
Take it down.
You think they take it down?
Yeah. I don't see why they leave it up there. It can be blocking people's view in the way of the screen, depending where you're sitting. I think if it is the first night, I think they take it down.
Do
But who
you?
knows?
I would have to put this on the first night. I would put it on the first night. I
Yeah.
could
I'm not
almost see this being the curtain jerker, the first match of the night.
possible. It's
But I
possible.
mean, you got two quality guys there. You want that crowd to get worked up, right? I mean, if you're thinking about it now, if we're looking at the card, I mean, the one thing I can say that I know that Triple H is looking at, he wants, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Hunter is looking to make this card not oversaturated with matches, but have less matches, but give them more time to build more quality moments and things like
Which
that.
is going to piss people off because people be left off the card. That's when the heat starts coming on. They're going to start shit talking. I'm saying, you know what? I should have been on. That guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's going to feel it now. He's never had this kind of pressure.
No, he's gonna feel it, and it's no different than when they did it to Vince or whoever else was in charge at the time. It's just whoever's running
But
that
it's not
ship.
just Triple H in charge. He's got guys ahead of him that would say, hey, you know what? No, you're making this mania longer because we got this and that. You have no choice. So it's not just him. We'll see what they say, but I don't know.
Well, like I said, I don't see outside of talent screaming and stuff. I think it's more of a benefit for the fans. I'd rather see a quality match than a fucking 5 minute, nonsense match, and then a bunch of stupid filler in between, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'll give this to AEW. They do this right with their pay-per-views. They focus the pay-per-view on matches. Not a lot of nonsense backstage. It's like right into the next match. You might have a couple of backstage segments.
Yeah, but they're a little more focused on wrestling. WWE brings that entertainment flavor, right? So I hope Vince is telling Triple H guys, hey, we got to have some sort of entertainment. This is WrestleMania is not just matches; it's entertainers too, right? So
No,
you've got to
no,
have some
but the
music
matches,
or comedian, right?
yeah, I know they got all that stuff as well. So I mean, it's all going to be sprinkled in there. But in terms of the actual what matches are going to go on this card, I think they're looking towards more quality than quantity, right? Let's see how it plays out. We don't know.
We'll see how it plays
I mean,
out. Yeah, we'll
right?
see
I
how.
mean, again, like I said yesterday, and this kind of ties in exactly to what I wanted to say earlier with Brock and Omos. You know, I wasn't sure about that fight. I didn't know if I liked it. I didn't know if I was interested in it. But last night changed that for me because finally you saw them together in the ring.
I was saying all along, I said it before, I take that match any over Bray Wyatt's goofy, silly stuff.
Well,
So,
it's
way
kind of
better.
interesting. I think it's more suited to Brock. I did notice that they fumbled it a bit there, almost kind of screwed up
Yeah,
a
he
little
got
bit, in
caught
my
on the ropes
opinion.
there. Yeah.
Right, but I could see Brock was visibly upset. Like he looked pissed off. He was supposed to look pissed off, I guess. But if you know Brock Lesnar and you know the kind of person he is off screen, that pissed him off.
Yep, he didn't look impressed.
He was not happy with that at all, man. Like, I mean, if there is a ring general now, I would have to say it's Brock to a certain extent, that the same level of the Taker in terms of old school and respecting the business and whatnot. Like, considering when Brock came onto the scene and stuff, he's really old school mentality when it comes to the business.
Yeah,
Right?
he
Like,
is.
he holds it close to the hip. Like, I mean, he punched Braun Strowman in the face for hitting him too hard.
Oh yeah, Braun didn't do
Right?
much back to that. What are you going to do back?
No,
How much you do
nothing.
to that
But
guy?
that's the kind of guy Brock is, right? So
Yeah,
good thing that happened and Brock was out of the ring because I don't know what kind of receipt he would have given Omos because that
he
looked
might get
really
one at
awkward.
WrestleMania. He might stiff him at WrestleMania a little bit. I
Right,
think he
right.
might.
But that did look really awkward. Like just the placement of his hand, everything. Like it should have been more fluid, in my opinion. I just
I
picked
didn't
up
like
on
how
that.
they designed that. I don't know why Omos is throwing him over the top rope. Let him do
I
something
think
different. I
I
don't get
think
it.
I think what they were trying. I understand what you're saying, but I think what they were trying to do here is like, a first off, Brock's not small. You've seen him
Yeah,
live. I've seen him live.
he's a monster. Yeah,
He's huge.
yeah.
But this reminded me of Undertaker and Giant Gonzalez when they faced off the first time. Well, just
Yeah, I
think
know.
about it. The sheer size,
Yeah, yeah.
the size difference is immense. I mean, even in this case, it's even bigger, it feels like, because Brock, at least Undertaker was 6'11.
Yeah.
Gonzalez was about the same size as fucking Omos, I
Omos.
guess.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, he looks small, but he still, could, he was up at his chin. Brock's
Yeah.
on his chest, man. He could suck his nipples
I
standing.
know. Yeah, Brock's what, 6'3", maybe 6'2", 6'3"?
Yeah, yes. But built like a house, right?
Yeah.
So, you take all those things into consideration and everything else. I mean, it's I'm excited for that match now. I don't know if it's going to be a great match, based on that one little interaction. They got some work to do there to kind of fix it up.
I think let's see some punch and kick in, toss each other around, but I Omos wins. Omos will win it.
I almost feel that you need to put. I see. That's a thing. I don't know.
Lesnar doesn't need it, man. He's already been UFC champ, WWE champ. He can come back to anybody at any time. Omos needs to be like, I beat Brock. I beat the toughest man ever. He needs that push because Omos is, if he loses, he's going to keep sliding down. You got to build this guy. He's young. He's a giant. The biggest guy in wrestling needs to win. That's how I see it. Brock doesn't need it. That's what I think.
But then again, I mean, it's just okay. So if I'm only looking at it from this angle here, man. I look at it as, okay, he lost to Braun, but Brock beat Braun. So Omos beats Brock. You know what I mean? Like it's
I think
like,
wins and loss like Seth, they don't really mean much anymore. Everybody, we always forget so quick who they fought. We go to the next thing. It's just like,
I guess I don't know. Maybe I'm just one of those guys who doesn't forget, man. I just kind of look at it.
I think Omos should. If I'm booking, I'd give Omos the W.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
and I wouldn't be disappointed with that either, though. Like if that's the case, then that's fine too. I don't have any problem.
I like Omos. I like having that big giant, that big attraction, something larger than life, something special to see. Just a regular looking dude all the time. So I like the guy personally.
I like him too, but I'll be honest, I also
pretty
get
athletic
really
for how
bored.
big he is. He moves well.
No, I like him too, but I'll be honest, at the same time, I tend to get bored of 2-on-1 handicap matches, 3-on-1 handicap matches. Like I get it, he's an attraction, but I mean, I just want a bit more substance for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it sucks. Like, yeah, you're a big guy and you should be a wrestler and you go into wrestling and there's only a handful of the big men that can transcend it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I
Tough.
mean, Andre, probably the only guy that I know that was able to carry his name through and through and through.
Mhm.
It's just with these big guys, it feels like they're instantly pigeonholed. What can you do with them?
Well, Big Show is pretty good.
No, I get it, but I mean, how many, like, he was a different kind of big guy, if that makes sense. Like, he could talk, he
Mhm.
could move, he could actually do all the entertainment side of it, right?
Yeah,
Like
he's
a
pretty
guy
talented.
like a guy like Omos, a guy like Giant Gonzalez, English is hard to understand in the first
Yeah.
place, like when they talk. So that turns people off, not in a derogatory or any racist or
Yeah, I get it.
prejudiced
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
It's just if you don't understand the guy, you're not going to pay attention. You're not going to
You
get
don't get invested.
invested,
Yeah.
right? You're not invested at all. And then when you see the guy come out and Giant Kali or Great Kali and these guys,
He
they
was a good
come out.
entertainer. Great. Probably know how to entertain. He could
No,
dance.
but he could entertain and dance, right? So Omos needs to show a little bit more of that because right now the way he's being booked and what he's doing, I'm impressed, but I'm not impressed. I'm almost getting bored of that because we've seen it so many times, not
Well,
just
that's why
with
I think he's
him.
going to beat Brock. So now we can say, I beat Brock. I took this guy down and start
Yeah,
pushing him up, give him a little bit of a push here.
yeah, you give him a push, but to where? You can't put a belt on him.
No, I just, could fight other big guys, man. I don't know, maybe fight Braun, Bobby. I don't know, one of those kind of guys.
Well, he's gone through Bobby. He lost to Bobby. He lost to Braun. So I guess maybe he is due for a win here.
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't think about the Bobby side. Speaking of Bobby Lashley, Bray Wyatt is apparently injured, and that's
From
why
what? He never wrestles. How did he get injured?
it's some physical issue that he's dealing with. I don't know. There's no notes on it. There's nothing. It's just something physical, is all I know. It could be family related. It could be something, whatever the case may be. That's why he wasn't on SmackDown last week, and that's why Bobby hadn't showed up. So, but what I've understand is that this match will still happen. Maybe this is just a way they're building it up or not. But I mean, you got what, two Raws left, 3 Raws left, so you got to figure this out, man. Got to figure
I don't
this
know. I
out.
think since Bray's come back, it's been lackluster. It's been, I don't know, man. Like, it just, I know people like the Uncle Howdy stuff and he can get scary, then he's goofy. I just think it's been lackluster. Like, I know people like, oh, McMahon should let him go, but now I kind of see why he let him go. It just, I don't know.
Well, I think it doesn't help that you came back, you're back for 3 months. You haven't fought anybody, you haven't done anything, and the first match you have is a fucking rave match with glow
Yeah, I
sticks
know.
and fucking angel dust. I mean, come on, man. Like, honestly, I like Bray Wyatt. I like the character. I like everything he represents. I like what he can possibly do, he potentially do. But yeah,
I think he's overrated,
I,
personally.
some, I think he's a creative mind that it's just way too creative for himself.
Well, they need to tell him, hey, this is how it's going to be. This is where we're going to box you in. And if you can't like that and work with this, then you need to go somewhere else because obviously if he's so creative, it's not working because it's not resonating with the fans. He's all over the place. He's got Uncle Howard, he's got a scary, then he's doing goofy stuff. You don't know if he's a heel, a face. You don't know what this guy is because it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Some of the stuff that I see him doing, especially the second run here. The
Well,
Wyatt family was okay. He seemed like they had him in a nice little box, but now he's just all over the map.
again, we
I don't
will
know.
we will continue to watch and see what they do with this guy. But yeah, I mean, in some instances here, it does kind of make sense why some of these guys were let go in the first place. You're kind of
Yeah,
seeing it
and
now,
Braun,
right?
like, what's
So,
Braun done since he's come back? He's been absolutely useless.
well, I mean, he's kind of doing his thing with Ricochet. So, I mean, he's got his little storyline there going on. But I mean,
But you
again,
can
I don't.
almost see Braun going downhill. Like he's with Ricochet. He's one of the biggest guys fighting main events, and now he's fighting with Ricochet. I mean, how long is this going to go? He'll end up like Happy Corbin.
Well, I mean, again, I don't know. It's just a saturated talent pool. Maybe just focusing on certain aspects of it. I mean, again, we'll just see. We watch to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, ultimately, that's all we can do from here.
And so far, what I've seen from Braun and Bryce since they've came back has been nothing impressive at all. I don't blame them for letting him go in the first place. I see why.
Well, I mean, he was costing them
Probably
too much
paid Bray a
money.
ton of money, and for what you get out of him, the guy never wrestles. He does a couple segments and he's gone. So they pay him. He probably gets a ton of money, and it's not worth it. I don't think.
Again, we will live to see what they're going to do. Who knows? I mean, we got the draft coming up after Mania, so I mean, let's just get to WrestleMania. and see where everyone stands. And then I think we'll have a
Yeah.
clear picture of what's what here, right? Because I mean, in essence, if this match doesn't happen, then Bobby's out of a match. What do you do with him?
No, they'll jump him in on a three-way match, or he'll fight Gunther. They'll do something for him.
Well,
They'll make him.
Gunther's going to fight Gunther's either going to be in a triple threat with Sheamus and Drew, or
Bobby will be at Mania. Even if Bray can't go, then they'll throw him in the Omos Lesnar match. They'll find a way to do something. They're not going to leave Bobby off Mania.
see, that's where I hate that kind of stuff, man. Because with 3 weeks away, I hate when they fucking throw a match together 1 week before. That's just the stupidest. You've had 2 months to build the show.
Yeah, but they didn't know Bray was going to get hurt like this either, right? That's the thing.
No. I get it. But it just that takes away from me from Mania. Like, 1 week away from the show, and now you're making this match. Like, this is why they have to have backup plans, right?
He'll get a match. I don't know. I think if it does happen, I think he goes with Lesnar and Omos if Bray can't go. But he'll definitely be doing something. They're not going to sit that guy out. He's too talented. He's too big, too strong.
No, I get that completely, but I just don't see how you'd fit in with Brock and Omos, though. That doesn't.
Just has to run out there and start hitting them, saying, "You guys are scared of me, Bray scared of me," and just start hitting them, and they challenge the match, and away we go. And there's so much ridiculous stuff in wrestling too. They can make.
I'd rather see Bobby come out and interfere in Seth and Logan's match, to be angry and pissed off about all, like, it's a storyline, obviously. Like, this outside talent coming into wrestling, blah, blah, blah. I didn't even have a match, and he just fucking beats them up, which could set up a nice Seth and Bobby Lashley feud later on. I don't know, just thinking.
But either way, Bobby's got to be on the card, so they'll have to find something for him to do if Bray can't go. Bray probably will go, but if he doesn't,
Lashley I think the match will happen. It just, if it doesn't happen, then who do you? I'm not even going to consider the Brock option. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm just trying to figure out who else they could. Who would be a good match? Him and that big Australian dude, man. That guy keeps impressing me. Bronson Reed.
Yeah. But in wrestling, he's good. But in wrestling, nothing makes sense half the time. So I mean, they can make anything happen, do this, say this, and away we go. And you're scratching your head.
Yeah, and I'll still watch it. So I mean,
we'll see what happens.
100%. All right, so I don't know, man. What else do you have here?
Well, anything? I mean, like I said, Raw wasn't that inspiring. It was okay, but I don't know. Mania doesn't feel special right now. I don't know what they're waiting for. We're only a few Raws and a few SmackDowns out, but it doesn't look like it's gaining a lot of traction right now. I don't know. That's just what I'm seeing.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, I guess we'll start to see traction now, right? I mean, the next 3 weeks.
I hope so, because they're waiting way too long here. There's nothing exciting happening. It's just.
I think that's the problem with a 2-month build-up too. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you basically didn't run. You had a February show, but a whole month of, that was early February, right? When was the elimination?
February 20th, February 18th.
Yeah. So you basically got like 6 weeks to build the show. Maybe 6 weeks is too long. I don't know. Right? I mean, if you think about it, they've been building it since Royal Rumble, right? So you got February, March, no show in March. So you basically had 4 weeks uninterrupted, and it goes right into the first weekend of April anyway. So, I mean, you're jumping right into it. So.
Well, I think the problem is that the Sami versus Roman Reigns feud was so hot, and then they just killed it off right when they threw Cody there. But the Cody and Reigns feud, it's not that great. It's not that exciting. The fans don't seem that invested in it as they were with Sami and Roman. They killed that one off. They could have got a few more matches out of it. I get it. Cody run the Rumble. He has to go for the belt, but they should have let Sami Zayn get involved in this somehow, because that would have put this match over the top. This was an entertainment point of view.
Well, if that was the case, then Sami should have won the Rumble.
I don't think they realized that Sami and Reigns were going to catch.
They did. No, they did. They knew it was fire from December. They knew this was fucking fire, man. Ever since that day, Sami came out and said, "You're not looking too Usi." That should have been the indication of like, oh fuck, this is going to be hard to predict.
And I think another part of this, and people hate to say it, and you're not going to hear this on many shows, is that they're not going to come out and say this, but I know Sami doesn't look the part of a champion, and that's holding him back. You know what I mean? He's pale. He's not built. He's not well kept. He's a great entertainment, a great worker, but I don't know if that's the guy they want carrying their belt around. I think that's part of this too.
That could be a part of it as well, but I mean,
it's harsh to say, but when you have the belt, you are representing the company, right?
Well, here I'll throw it back to you. I'll serve it back. Daniel Bryan was scruffy and pale. But they had
he didn't have it for long though.
Well, he got injured again, man. He got that concussion again, right?
Yeah,
but what I'm saying
is that they were hesitant on doing it, right? Because like you're representing the company.
No, I get it, but I mean, at this point, but they put it back on him again anyways, right?
Yeah,
It's
no,
not
but
like he
Daniel
didn't
Bryan,
get
he's
it.
got a little bit of muscle. He dressed a little bit better. Sami Zayn looks like a homeless dude half the time when he dresses, man.
Well,
I mean,
I don't know. Like I said,
I'm
if
just
they
calling as I see. I'm not trying to put the guy down,
look,
but like,
look,
he doesn't look like a wrestler, right?
if they knew, they should have known. If we knew that this had wheels, and
Hmm.
we're talking F1 rubber on here, that's how fast this was moving,
Yeah.
right? They should have done something then. Why would you
I just
go
think they don't
through?
want him as the champ
Yeah,
because of his looks.
but then now you're putting everything in jeopardy, as you're saying, right? I mean, if
I
that's
think,
your
yeah,
opinion, that's your opinion. I'm sure there's
that's what I'm
other
thinking. What
people.
they're thinking,
No,
I don't
no,
know.
no, 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 no. But if you're thinking that, there's other guys and girls out there thinking the same thing,
I hear it all the time, dude.
right? You're not the only one who thinks that. I mean, I personally think that this could have been handled better, possibly. They could have done something better with it overall.
I would
But
have made a triple threat match with Zayn if I'm in charge with Sammy, Cody, and Roman. That's how I would have done it. That way they could have got a lot of this. The fire would have been still burning, right?
and I still think they can, right? Because quite frankly, I mean, are they going to make, like, we know the tag team match is supposed to happen at Mania with those guys, but as it stands right now, I mean, are we looking at the final Raw or the final SmackDown before WrestleMania to make that match? Is that when they're going to do their Triple H DX reunion, Shawn Michaels DX reunion sort of a deal? Like, I mean, what's got to give here? Because Sammy got the, what's his name? Got the shit kicked out of him again last night.
Yep.
Sammy didn't
I
come
think
back
it's
from
going to
it.
be like we said before, Sammy and Kevin versus the Usos. That's what it's going to be. Looks
Yeah.
like.
Well, but like I said, again,
We'll see.
we got 6 more shows, okay? 3 Raw and 3 SmackDowns before this goes down, correct?
Well, they already got the
So
posters out with Cody and Roman for the belt, so I don't think they're going to add Sammy now. I think that one's just, that ship.
the ship may have sailed, but like I said, let's see how they build up these programs now. We got 3 weeks. Let's see what they do. And let's pass judgment after Mania. I mean, that's all we can really do,
Well,
right?
I'm just saying what I see now. There's no excitement for Mania. The matches don't feel like, oh my god, I can't wait to see it. Yeah, they'll be good. It'll be okay, but it's not like I can't wait to see this. I don't see anything right now.
I don't think there's
I don't know.
been a match. I don't think there's been a match or a card that's made me feel that way in a long time at any level, right? Depending on who it is or not. That's the way I look at it. I mean, the matches, I've watched the shows and I've come away like, wow, that was a great show. But nothing ever gripped me to say, oh, can't wait for this match,
There's
right?
actually only 2 matches so far right now that I'm actually excited to see. I should take that back. There's 2 matches that I'm excited to see. Logan versus Seth, but I think will be the best match of both nights, and Austin Theory versus John Cena. Those are 2 matches right now that I'm looking forward to seeing.
Right now, the biggest name you got is John Cena, right?
Yep,
There's
hands down.
no, there's no Austin, there's no Rock, there's none of those other guys there. It's
No.
Cena. He's carrying this one himself.
Yep.
And I can't wait to see that stadium of green or whatever color his shirts is.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be sweet. He's gonna have a wicked entrance too when he comes out. It's in Hollywood, so he's gonna have a grand entrance.
No, definitely, man. So I mean, like I said, I mean, again, I don't want to pass judgment on any of it. I don't want to, jinx it or talk bad about any of it yet.
Yeah, we'll see what.
We'll see what happens. I mean, for me, it's just about building it up. I think the one thing for me personally, I don't want to get too negative on it and go in with a negative sense of letdown already, because you'll just look for everything to kind of justify how you are feeling going in, right? I'm kind of going with an open mind. I'm not saying it's perfect. I agree with a lot of what you're saying in terms of, you know, there's nothing that pulls at you, there's nothing that's gripping you
No,
or anything like that. So, from that perspective, it's just kind of
it's like they're forcing the Cody and Roman story when the Roman and Sammy story was coming naturally. It was a lot of heat. They had the tension, but the Cody and Roman just like it's rushed, it's forced. There's no magic there yet.
There was no magic, and I think what there could have been magic, but I just think because the way he came back so quickly and automatically got that from the match, right? Like, I mean, he won the Royal Rumble, so he automatically got the shot. There's no
Yeah.
build up to it, right? Like,
No.
I mean, he said last night in his promo, since I've been back, I'm undefeated. Yeah, you've only had 3-4 matches
Yeah,
since
I
you've
know.
come back, right? And granted, you got hurt, you were gone for 6 months since you've been back. So if you've only been back for 8-9 months, like I guess by Mania time it'll be a calendar year since he's returned, right?
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, and it's no fault of his, the guy's been gone for 8 months of that year that he's been back.
Yep.
So of course you're going to be undefeated. Yeah, you've come back with all this kind of, fanfare and adulation, and everyone's kind of excited for you. And I am too. I am hoping to see good things from him. I'm excited where he can go.
Yeah.
But I think he came back, he won the match, and that was it. He got his ticket punch, right? There's no build up to it. There's no, like you said, the whole Sammy thing. This thing's been building since when? Right? Like, I mean,
Yeah. Good story.
summertime, right?
Yeah.
So the I'm trying to think here. The payoff for this would have been Mania, should have been Mania between the
Yeah.
two of them. They shouldn't have had an elimination chamber match in Montreal. That shouldn't have happened. They should have built towards the triple threat. I get it. He has to be that match in order to
Yeah.
make it sound exciting. Even if he doesn't go over, even if he loses and it's Cody who pins him, you still keep Roman warm and hot. He didn't lose.
Yeah, the hype's there. Yeah.
The hype is still there, right? So, you're not wrecking anything
Totally
in
agree.
terms of his character at all. But I mean, again, we're not in that room. And if we were, I'm sure, we wouldn't be doing the podcast anymore because we'd be writing WWE stories. But
Yeah, no, it's true. We never know what goes on behind the scenes. There's always more to it than what we see.
no,
A
there was
lot of times
always
it can be
more.
attitudes, it could be people, so we'll just never quite know.
No, we never know. We're only basing it on what we see and what we're allowed to see and what they allow us to see, right?
Yeah.
And we formulate our opinions and thoughts on that sort of a deal. I mean, at the end of the day, you're always going to have disgruntled people talking shit backstage because they're not on TV at that moment. So what do? They pick up the phone and reach out to your local Dave Meltzer and try to shit on something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So, I mean, a lot of this has to do with
Wrestling.
the disgruntled talents that are back there too. And, that's one thing I've never appreciated is if you make it to the WWE, you have no right. Yeah, you worked hard and you got there and you put your time in, but once you're there, what gives you the right to complain about anything?
It's like making the NFL or the NHL. It's the top of best company in the world for wrestling.
No, I get it.
Some people are just never happy. They think they should be in this spot. This person should be in that spot. And they just, like you said, get disgruntled and leak stuff out to the press and, sabotaging their own company in a way.
I almost feel that people do that more than actually putting effort into actually making a good product for themselves, right? I mean, it's still, at the end of the day, wrestling is an individual thing. As much as it's run by a company, you have your writers, you have this, it all comes down to you, man. That's why I love the individual sports more and more as I get older. Because
Yeah.
like Cody, when we talked to Cody, he perfectly said it. Like, you can go out on the ice, you can go out on the court, you can go out on the field, you can go in the ring and train, right?
Yeah.
Or not the ring. I'll take that one back. And train and up your skills and make your skills. But you know what? If your defense is shit, if your goalie is shit, if your other guys on the offense are shit, then what's the point of all that hard training? You still go down with the team.
Yep.
Right. And I'm all team. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate teams and I appreciate
I know what you're
work
saying.
and effort.
Individual sport, you got nobody to blame but yourself. It's you.
But no, at the end of the day, you got your trainers, you got everything else that prepare you for this. But at the end of the day, you go in. It's like writing an exam. No one's writing your exam. You write your own exam.
Yep.
You can study. You can be in a study group, but at the end of the day, it's you that has to perform, right? And same with wrestlers. I mean, they're all independent contractors. I don't care what level you're at. You can be working the bingo hall, as you like to say, or the labor center hall, if you want to call it that. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, from that level right up to the WWE, they're all independent contractors. In fact, the way I work is no different from how these guys work as an independent contractor.
Yep.
Right? So they can give you everything. It's how you translate it and create it and make it your own. And it's been a long fucking time until Sami Zayn came into the scene, even though he's been around, but he figured out the formula for this particular instance anyways, right?
Yeah, he did.
Like you said, he's nothing to look at. He's physically not built. He's pale. He looks like a homeless guy, but we're still talking about him.
But he's entertaining. He knows how to wrestle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's, and in terms of wrestling, we can't stress this enough, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the moment taker. I mean, you know, he's an example of this at the indie level. Here's a guy that's focused on, he's got 5 or 6 moves because he doesn't need any more than that. Because the whole premise of his character, Thunder from Jalunder, another local guy from here, the guy can wrestle maybe 4 or 5 moves. That's it. And average at that on those moves. No knock on him. No knock on him.
Yeah.
But what do you remember? Do you remember the moves, or do you remember that fucking facial expression with his eyes bulging out of his head?
The character, yeah, he's got the crowd.
The character,
yeah,
right. And
he figured it out too.
And what do we remember? As long as we've been watching wrestling, both you and I combined, I think we got about 100 years of wrestling viewership between us.
Yeah.
Right. So you take all that into account and everything. You asked me straight up, outside of maybe one match that I saw, the matches I remember are because of the story and the characters that were telling that story in the ring.
Yeah.
Right? Like I always come back to this match. Undertaker, Triple H with Shawn Michaels as guest referee in the Hell in a Cell in 2008. Hands down, still one of my favorite matches of all time. Not because the work was amazing in the ring. It's the expressions and that storytelling that was being told during this match.
Yeah, it was well done. With JR on commentary too for that one.
With JR on commentary as well. But even if you were to turn him down and just watch it without the commentary, the story tells itself because those 3 guys told the story with their eyes and their expressions. And that was insane. When's the last time we've seen something like that? Like I said, you know, Jake the Snake talked about this before. You got guys in there, you know, you'll hit them with these moves that should knock you out and that should get you your victory, but they're kicking out of those at 2. Exciting, I get it.
I know.
But then you get a schoolboy or a roll-up, a small package, and you're winning. Right?
I know.
Like, you know, so it's just like, forget moves are moves. I get it. That's what we like to see. I get it. I want to see some high-flying moves. But I'm more impressed by a guy like Bronson Reed jumping off the top rope the way he did last night.
Yeah, he's super athletic.
Right? I'm more excited about that, not taking nothing away from Rey Mysterio, Montez Ford. They're athletic. I expect them to fly.
You don't expect Bronson to fly like that.
No, the way he flew, and he did it with confidence. And again, I'm looking at him and I'm looking at his face as he's flying through the air. That's where the move is sold for me. It's not the actual move. It's not him jumping off the top rope. It's how he's brought it in.
Yeah, how he's selling it. Yep.
How he's selling it. And you know, how the other guy's selling it as well. Like, I mean, you know, poor Elias, but I mean, at the end of the day, it was what it was. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. That it's just expressions, and you know, it's more exciting to see a man who shouldn't be standing on the top rope exciting than the guy who you would see on the top rope, right?
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that.
Like Ricochet is amazing. I love watching him, and I am impressed. But again, I let out a ooh when I saw Bronson do it, but when I saw Ricochet do the stuff, I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Because you expect and he looks like he can do it.
Yeah, right. So, you know, I don't know, man. Like I said, I mean, let's run it down really quick here. So we got Universal Undisputed title match, like Cody versus Roman. That's one. We know that's the curtain closer for Sunday night. That's done. Charlotte against Rhea Ripley. That should be fun. I think Rhea's going to win that one. Right now anyways. Bianca, Asuka, that story's building up really nicely. That quietly is being built right. Right? I love what they're doing with those 2 girls, man. And you know, and I think because it's going so quietly and kind of unnoticed in a way, it's gonna be a sleeper match in my opinion. Those 2 ladies are good on the show.
And we got Austin and John Cena.
Austin and John Cena. I think that's going to be interesting. Hopefully Cena comes back to TV again at least once or twice.
He will. He'll come back once more at least.
Well, he has to at least once more, right? But I mean, again, the guy's busy. He's doing a schedule. He's trying to make it all work. I mean, I'll give him credit. He's got so many things on the go, yet he still finds the time to do this, right?
Yeah. And then we got Logan versus
Seth.
Yeah,
Logan versus Seth.
That's my favorite match of those so far.
Yeah, that looks like it's going to be the most.
They're going to do some crazy spots out there too. I don't know what they're going to do, but it's going to be like wow.
No, that should be a fun match. What else we have? We have Becky, Lita, and Trish against Damage Control. Io, Dakota, and Bailey.
Yep.
So you got that match. So you have that
Brock and
happening.
Omos.
Brock and Omos. We got that match. We also have Hell in the Cell with Finn Balor and
Edge, yeah.
Edge. So that's kind of locked in. So how many do we got there right now? So 1, 2, 3.
7 or 8.
Gunther again. I think Gunther's going to end up in a triple threat match with Sheamus and Drew.
Yeah, that would be good.
I have a feeling that's where
That's the match you open the card with, something like that.
Yeah, that or the Hell in the Cell. I agree. But you know what? I think you know what. Now, if that match is going to go down, I think that's the match you start.
Yeah, you got to open with those guys.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And you can have Ray and Dominic, not officially yet, but that'll happen.
But yeah, you got Ray and Dominic coming up as well. So I mean, what are we at? About 8, 9, 10 matches so far?
Yeah, then you got Usos versus Sami Zayn and Owens, not officially announced, but it looks like that'll happen.
I think there's probably one or Bray and the other guy, Bobby.
Bray and Bobby.
Right. So you got 12 matches here, maybe 2 more, and you have 7 a night.
Per night.
Yeah. Right. Maybe 6 to 7 a night, depending what kind of time they want to give here or who they want to give the time to. Hell in the Cell will probably take a good 40 minutes at least.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, about that.
And then you probably have Bianca and Asuka closing out. It's either Bianca or Asuka or Charlotte and Rhea closing out night 1.
They're gonna let the women have one main event to close on. The men have one. Cody and Roman. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think you're gonna close the show with that on that night. It's what's in between everything else. I guess the question is now, maybe if that's the case, I wonder what the curtain jerker for night 2 would be.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Hard to say.
No doubt.
But the greatest story and the greatest feud that could be happening isn't happening, and hopefully that happens before they sell WWE, is Vince versus Triple H. The evil father-in-law versus the kiss butt son-in-law, greedy son-in-law. Dude, that story writes itself. They can just get out there and wing it. You got absolute magic. That could be potentially better than Austin McMahon, because this is real.
Well, it has to.
I don't think it'll ever happen, but if they did do it, look out. It'd be money.
Well, again, never say never. You never know, right? I mean, if anything, maybe Vince doesn't come back to the company in the roles that he did, but he could come back as a character, potentially. But
well, he's the owner. He can step out right now if he wants to. Nobody's stopping him. I just don't think he wants to put the heat on him. But man, could you imagine the heat they'd have together?
Again, this is something you would build up for next year, right?
Yeah, and what would happen? I'm just saying, if that story ever happens, look out.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that would be a really fun story. And I think the other fun story, as much as you probably are gonna throw up in your mouth a little bit when I say this, but CM Punk and Triple H feud would be really fun too.
Yeah, I'd like to see that too. Yeah.
Right.
It's the same thing CM Punk's gonna say. What did he call him? The doofus son-in-law?
Yeah, exactly. The doofus son-in-law.
Right.
Oh, look,
so Triple H has this.
Yeah. So since I've been gone,
that'd be a good one too.
Right now, if H can't go, then this is where you could bring someone up and be the guy who fights for H, sort of a deal, right? Like, I mean,
the H has to do some punching and kicking at least if he's gonna have this kind of feud, because it wouldn't be the same.
Well, let's see if his health allows him to do it, right? That's the big issue there. That's the only thing that's holding back Triple H from fighting.
I think if he can lift weights like he does, I'm sure someone might couldn't punch and kick for a couple minutes.
Oh, in ring again. I think
there's one thing that nobody. I haven't, and I hate to say this, but there's one thing that nobody said about Triple H and his heart attack that he had. I know it's a genetic thing, but all those years of steroids absolutely mess with his heart. He's lucky he's alive. If he would have been a drinker or a smoker like his other friends, he's done.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't do steroids all those years and not get a heart attack. Luckily, he's clean and sober, right? And
you're
he's
not
alive.
wrong.
I'm glad he is.
Yeah.
Thank God he wasn't a boozer or a drug guy. He'd be toast.
No, you're not wrong, man. You're not wrong
like
at
Mr.
all.
Perfect Eddie Guerrero, he'd have been gone.
I think that had to also do with the other drugs that they were taking, man.
No, I know that's what I'm saying. So we all know Triple H and steroids like candy. We got that part. What I'm saying is if he was doing what Michaels and Kevin Nash guys all those years, his heart he would have been dead when he had that heart attack because he'd been that much more weak.
Oh,
he's lucky that
he would have probably been dead way before that.
Possible, but I'm glad he made it. But
yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, if he kept up with the rest of the clique, right? If he had kept up with the rest of them in terms of the way they drank and everything and all the
pills,
things he did and the pills, I think he would have died a long time ago. You know, he would have died in the early 2000s.
Probably because he already had a like heart condition runs in his family, right? So
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, just like the grind of the road, working the matches, everything, right?
yeah,
Uh, you know, that would have really, really contributed it to kind of ending him quicker. And you know, that's why I like Triple H so much. Yeah, he's straight edge. He's just a straight edge as
but he doesn't
Philly.
brag. That's one thing I don't like about. He doesn't
He
brag
doesn't
about it.
brag.
Yeah, that's what I hate
Exactly.
about.
That's where I was going with it, right? Like he
Yeah,
doesn't brag like Phil,
no,
right? So I mean,
he just does
ultimately,
it.
he just does it. And I think those are the guys that I'm gravitated to, or the guys who just do it,
Yep. Vince
right?
is straight edge too. I don't think he drinks or smoke or does drugs.
Who Vince?
Yeah, does he? I don't think he drinks, does he?
I think he likes the odd pop.
I never really heard about it. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah.
sure.
No, Trips. Okay, look, Trips and I are very similar when it comes to our drinking habits. You may not see us with a drink at all for months or even years at a time, but that odd occasion we'll have a pint
Yeah,
or have a little tumbler in our hand. You know what I mean? Just for whatever the situation is, right? I mean, when was the last time you saw me drink?
year ago.
There you go. Right. And I have no craving for it. And we've gone through summer, we've gone through Christmas, we've gone through everything. And I think since that time you saw me drink, I might have had one glass of whiskey since then.
That's not bad. Yeah,
But again, it's just no craving for it, right? Like, I mean,
yeah.
it all kind of comes down to the lifestyle and what you're into and whatnot. Like I crave cookies more than I do fucking alcohol. I'm just saying.
Yeah, fair enough. Everybody likes different stuff, right?
Right? Give me a glass of scotch or a nice plate of home baked cookies. I'll take the cookie. Can't go
Yeah,
wrong with those, man, right?
no, no,
So
you're
that,
right.
but I think like with me, anyways, drinking has always come down to taste. I mean, a lot of the times I don't enjoy the taste,
Yeah, that's for a lot of people,
right? So I mean,
not for everybody.
no, but yeah, anyways, we're kind of digressing here and going off topic and doing our thing. But I tell you what, Chance, why don't we wrap this up here, man?
That's good.
We got a great interview coming up this Thursday with an up and coming boxer. We'll leave it at that. We'll launch that one on Thursday for you guys. And then, guys, either this Thursday or next Thursday, we'll drop the bomb and let you guys know what's happening in the world of Samp and Chance, and you know what's happening in the world of Samp and Chance. You got anything? Top five, anything like that?
Yeah, I got a top five for you. Ready?
Talk to me.
We're gonna do a top five, but not wrestling. We'll do a little more entertainment based here. Where's the
Sure.
top five places that you've traveled?
Top five places that I've traveled.
Yeah,
UK, obviously. My number one destination usually. Mexico would have to be in there as well. I've always enjoyed California. San Francisco's always been good to me. I've always enjoyed being there. I really enjoy it. San Diego, for some reason, San Diego stands out to me as a place
that's a good
I
spot.
would love to live there. It just seems like a cool place. But
Yeah,
I mean, based on 3 days, I'm only basing it on being there for 3 days,
yep,
and I really enjoyed it. And I mean, I haven't been there in almost 30 years, but I guess when I went to India, that was kind of an eye opener.
yeah, I bet.
An eye opener in the sense that I really appreciate where I come from and what I actually have, opposed to what life could have been.
Absolutely, third world of the first world, right? It's a good wake up call.
No, it's a huge wake up call. And the funny thing is like I probably lived like when I was in India, I probably lived as a one percenter, right? It's not,
Yeah,
like I mean, I had nothing but privilege while I was there, to be fair.
yeah,
There was this one time I woke up and I came back, like I woke up and went to the washroom, right? It was about 7 o'clock in the morning. I came back to bed, my bed was already made.
nice.
But I'm just saying, there's just that
Yeah,
level,
yeah, yeah. That's
right?
service.
Right. So, and that's just at the guy's house. It wasn't a hotel. This is a
Yeah,
guy, his only job is to walk around, make sure the floors are cleaned and the beds are made. That's his
he's doing
job.
he did his job well.
That's all he does, man. And there's another guy who sits outside the house and shines your shoes,
Wow.
right? So, I mean, levels, right?
Yeah,
And I always say to these guys when they say, "Oh, we want to move to Canada," I go, "Why? Why would you want to come here? Like, you'd have to make your own cup of tea. You would have to shine your own shoes. You don't."
that's a shine your own shoes.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
No, no, you're right.
but they don't know any different. That's normal for them.
Yeah, it's only you go about only what you know, right? Like North Korea, they don't got internet, they got nothing. They only get to watch a show if the government tells them they can watch. They don't know any different.
Dude, in North Korea, I was watching this interview with this lady who defected. Like the history of North Korea doesn't start until the first guy, like Kim Young Jong's dad.
Yeah, I know.
That's where the
Crazy.
history book fucking starts from,
I know it's insane,
right?
dude.
Those people are so in the dark about everything and
Literally in the
anything.
dark. He cuts their power off. A lot more even have power.
Bro, he starves the population. If you can't think, you can't organize. If you can't organize, you can't complain.
Yeah.
So what does he do? He cuts their food rations. He's cut them down to such bare necessities,
He's a nut job, dude.
right? Now, we're not a political show, but I'll leave it with this. Why are we sending so much money to like Ukraine and stuff, and yet we know what's going on over here and nobody wants to touch it?
Just
Not
leave the guy alone.
not one nation wants to help this country or its people. Why? Because there's no fucking oil and there's nothing there of investment for them.
That and the guys in that job will start firing off weapons at them and make a big war about it, right?
I get it, but they're going up against a nut job right now who actually will fire off the weapons.
Yeah.
Right?
South Korea's cool. South Korea's like Canada and America. South
Yeah.
Korea's free, just like here. You can go visit there, have a great time.
No, you could, but I mean, it just kind of sucks to know what's going on right there, yet no one talks about it. Yet, but it's
Yeah.
a big issue if you're drinking out of a fucking plastic straw.
I know. That's crazy.
This thing, man.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's
Yeah.
another show for another day. We don't want to ruffle any feathers, but you know what? I really don't care. I love to ruffle feathers. It's kind of my thing. Chance Michaels, man, I think we got a good show here today, man.
We do.
A little bit of everything, a little bit of a debate, a little bit of argument. No argument at all. We're just agreeing that things don't look great. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
We're both on the same page, but like I said to you, and I'll say to the listeners, we got 2 to 3 more episodes each to kind of build off of. Let's see what they
Mhm.
do, and maybe this show will become something. Maybe this
Could
show
be.
will look really good. I muted myself. I apologize for that. So I was
Okay.
just talking some nonsense there, but I'll let it go, and
Okay.
maybe it's best that I muted it. Okay, so on that note, I am Bobby Sampson, and joined as always with me, my man, Mr. Chance Michaels.
And in the words of the great AC/DC, those that like, download, subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you guys. So listen, guys, everybody have a great rest of your week. Be safe. SmackDown this Friday. We'll touch on that, and on Thursday we'll come back at you guys with another great interview that we did earlier this week. So we'll have that up for you guys, and and we'll drop some bombs on you guys maybe this Thursday too. So all that being said, everybody have a great rest of your week. Everyone out there, have a great rest of your week. Please be safe. Stay healthy so you guys can tune into us on Thursday. And that's all I got. In the words of Ed Whalen, in the meantime and in between time, that's it for Samp and Chance. Have a great one, everybody.